still to this day, something I hold really close because it was back then we used to talk about what's going on now. One day there'll be franchise leagues, we'll be there. It just took a lot longer than I think we thought it was going to take. Envy is a great story because it started from us needing to win tournaments to pay bills. Like, kid you not, we would message MLG and say, hey, we just won this 2v2 whatever tournament on Bog. Can you pay out early? And they would. And it just, It was a weird story, right? So we went from like trying to win these tournaments to winning tournaments and then playing for rent. We got in a team house way too premature. We were one of the first teams to have a team house in Minnesota at the time. And that development started happening once I met Hastro, and Hastro was like, hey, we really need to turn this into a business, So he brought on what would have been our second or third sponsor ever at the time. And then he kind of just started running it from a business side, and all we had to do was focus on playing. He moved us to North Carolina. We ended up living in that team house there, all of us together. That was an interesting situation in the best of ways. It was a weird life, man. But I wouldn't take it back. There's a lot of life lessons during that thing.
Yeah. Why do you say that it was too early for a team house? Were you guys just too young and immature to be good roommates, or how did that work?
Just everything, man. Like I kid you not, I think we had this basement where we played traditionally, right? In the basement.
Yeah.
But we would all just go downstairs at like, let's say 4 p.m. and we would play till like 6 a.m. and then we would get off and just do it again. It was like there was no life. There was nothing happening. It was just a repeated day over and over. But it was us scrimming. It was us perfecting the game. We were watching a lot of pro mod players at the time too, looking up to those guys, trying to steal some of those strats, see what we could take, what we can't. It was good though.
Yeah, I feel like pro gamers living in the same house would not be fun. It'd be like living at your office with your coworkers, basically.
Yeah, and there's a lot, whenever you lose in a game, that reflects in your personal friendship in the house.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weird times where we would lose, and then at the end of it, we'd look at each other and be like, what are we doing here? Why are we so pissed off at each other for nothing? And it did put more pressure on to win, right? Like, I think there was some of that had to do with us winning. Like, if you look at some of our records, like one of our records, we fought to like 1,500 game battles wins just to have it, right? I think we had 100 losses or something like that. And that was just because we just wanted to practice the winning mentality. Hey, this is all about winning.
Were any of your like athletic mindsets you think helpful as a pro player, like as far as dealing with pressure, anything like that?
The biggest thing was discipline, probably, right? Like in football, you had to get on you'd go practice every day. And it was the same thing with COD. You'd get on to play and you would scrim, and the repetition, right? Like there's something to be said about repetition, and then that's map breakouts. So we were doing a lot of things early that I don't know if other teams were doing. A lot of the times we'd play them, it wouldn't feel like it. So for example, we would like dummy smoke areas and then run through and back around on a map and do things that we really thought would be different just because we would practice that, So I guess back then everyone used to call us like super nerdy team, right? Now we took pride in that.